Good afternoon. Pastor Scott. I'd like to chat with you today about an idea that might work for you in your home, your place, particularly in this time when we can be missing the sense of the sacred space. That sanctuary that we gather in on Sundays and visit sometimes during the week. That sense of this is where God is, this is where we gather, this is what we do. And pondering the question, what is our sacred space? What might that be like in a different time, in a different circumstance? When we are at home, what can be our sacred space? The Jews had to work through this question when Babylon and Assyria came and invaded and tore down the temple and took them away. And they had to say, what does it mean? How do we worship when we don't have our temple? Well, during this time when we can't gather at a place like the church, maybe somewhere in your home, could be outside, could be inside, you could find what you can make to be a sacred space. This spot here, I had not prepared in this way until now, but I pondered, this is a spot in the home where I enjoy sometimes having just a quiet prayer time. I'll take my Bible or some online things and do some of the studying that I want to do. It's a quiet place, it's a peaceful place. Some might find a closet, and that echoes back to Jesus' words going to the inner room to pray. There's a movie about that, The War Room. Very good movie. Christian faith and a place of prayer. But wherever that might be in your home, might you find one? It might be a place for the whole family. Maybe it's an open space. Maybe it's your dining room. And you do something to say, how can we make this into our sacred space? Something that evokes that sense of God and faith. A cross, your Bible, artwork, statuary. Something that you say, this we set aside in a way. Maybe it's more of a prayer space than a worship space. And that's where you go, and that's where you find a place to be with God. Of course, that can be anywhere. It can be outside. It could be a little kneeling garden. It could be a little labyrinth. It could be anything. But what could be your sacred space? And as you explore that and say, this becomes the place where you are more comfortable talking with God, thinking and praying for yourselves and family and friends, and just for God's guidance and wisdom in this time. So I encourage you to ponder, what might be your sacred space? What part of your place, whatever your place is, as small as it might be, can be the place that you set aside. And give that over to you and to God for this time. Maybe you'll keep it later, and maybe when we're back together, it goes back to its original purpose, but that's okay too. There's no rules. This is not a right or a wrong. Just understanding your sense of sacred. Peace be with you.